Why does a guy like you need Cialis?
I have a huge cock, Joe.
It's too big?
It's too big. And I've taken little gas station dick pills before, like...
Johnny, angry Johnny.
I'm back. I'm back. This junkie had you crying. You're a knob. Junkie whoops your ass, Daniel Cormier. I beat you after a weekend of cocaine.
I don't really like you, Luke, so I'm not going to answer your question.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. I am back. I am your host, Brad Taschuk. And I have to say, in my absence, Sean, I give Jay a D+ for hosting. Would you say that's fair?
I think that's very fair. In his words, he is terrible.
And as far as consensus bets go, it's a straight F. You guys get not quite an F-. It's not a Charlie Ward situation, but it hasn't been pretty.
Hasn't been pretty lately. We had a little bit of streak there, but it was not good, especially on the last card.
Anyways, as you guys can tell, Sean's here with me. Nobody else is here in terms of our normal hosts, but that's okay because we have something even better for you guys tonight. We have the one, the only, Twitter verified, the GOAT, Jon Jones. Mr. Jones, thank you for taking time away from your cocaine-fueled victory binge party to join us.
That's just how I live my life every day. Put me on the show, guys.
Not a problem. I was jumped at the opportunity. As I mentioned just before, a big fan of yours. Been following you for quite a while. But I have one question to start off with here.
Yeah,
Are
sure.
you, in fact, on cocaine right now?
Right now, no. I actually haven't eaten anything in 24 hours. So I'm like...
Cocaine will do that to you.
So it's a different kind of high. It's a not taking care of myself kind of high. So you're in that at the jagged razor edge of my delirium.
It's almost like a shin to Daniel Cormier's head, right?
Oh my God, that hurt to watch.
I'm sure
when he got hit,
chin, right?
I forgot shit.
Okay, one other question before we get into the serious talk here.
Sure, what's up?
I always look at the Twitter mentions anytime you fight, and I always see people saying, Jon Jones, you're such a piece of shit. Jon Jones,
Really?
Are you in fact a piece of shit?
Well, it really depends on who's asking.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I'm an acquired taste, so shit.
Well, MMA is a very acquired taste as well, so...
Yeah, I've become aware of that. It's like my favorite little line is, everybody asks me, do you follow MMA? Are you a fan now? And no, not really. And people ask if I follow the sport, and I say, no, the sport literally follows me.
Drowns
you.
Yes, it does.
It's just a part of my life, and I just have to deal with it now. I can't control when it starts or stops, and all I can do is just try to have as much fun with it for as long as it lasts. It's a hobby literally only I can have.
Well, I've noticed that, and for our listeners, if you guys hadn't figured it out yet, because you guys are MMA fans and not the brightest bunch, this isn't the MMA fighter Jon Jones. This is at Jon Jones on Twitter, the man who has had to put up with more shit than anyone who doesn't give a fuck about MMA has ever had to put up with. So, it's an interesting tale. I think the first time I became aware of you on Twitter was UFC 151 when that fight got canceled. and yeah, you were just telling us before we came on the show that you had to take time off work to respond to all the people that were tweeting at you and hating you and all that sort of stuff. So tell us a little bit about sort of the genesis of Jon Jones.
It was, oh my God, UFC 151 was insane. I'd gotten mistweets prior to that, the years leading up to that fucking shit show. And, it was always, I mean, just occasionally someone will like, hey, go kick the shit out of that guy, make him bleed out his ass, or just completely random. It'd be like one tweet every couple months. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But I had friends that are MMA fans, and so when they saw Jon Jones starting to get more and more popular, they're like, hey, Bones, how you doing? Like, my friends just, they call me Bones. This past Saturday, we'll get to that, I'm sure. But this past Saturday was actually my birthday, and half my birthday wishes my friends and family were saying good luck with the fight.
It's a celebration.
There's no
amazing.
part of my life that hasn't touched at this point. But UFC 151 was when it went completely insane. I had, so I was a freelancer, and so I only get paid if I show up. So all of a sudden, it's out of the blue, I started getting hundreds of death threats. People, like, this is shit, you're a loser, you should die. I hope your wife dies, hope your wife gets raped and murdered. Like, stuff about my mom, stuff about my dad. I mean, just awful shit. And then once I realized what was happening, like, okay, this is how wise I am. Surely this will never happen again.
No.
So I may as well just have some fun with it. I'll stop and respond to every single one. So I took 3 days off work and was just glued to the keyboard 14 hours a day, responding to literally every single tweet that came to me, and just acting like comically befuddled. Like, these people are blindly tweeting death threats at a man who punches people into amnesia for a living. And they don't even take the time to make sure that they're sending death threats to the right person. So what's the last thing they'll expect? Like me, just a pudgy white nerd, acting terrified and unaware of what's happening to him. Like, it's like when people respond, it kind of, well, at first at least, it kind of diffused them. They're just like, what the oh my God, look at me. like I'll just make like video game references or talk about how weak and cowardly I am, or how I don't want to fight that guy. I just piss myself so hard I black out. Just the most self-deprecating things I can think of, and that has kind of became my shtick. And then it kept happening.
Yes, yeah, you'd think that they would learn, but as I said, this is MMA. These aren't necessarily the brightest folks in the world. So
MMA and just social media. Just people oh man, just people not caring enough to look into anything, just blindly spewing out garbage. Yep, that is peak.
It's a dumpster fire of shit.
Yeah, it's just peak social media in this day and age.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you actually do, which makes this whole thing even funnier?
So I'm my whole career I've been a video game developer. I started out as an artist, and then I became kind of like an art director and producer for like 50 video games I've worked on in my career. And so I'm a video game developer. I'm a geek. I'm glued to a PC all day for work, and then all night for like Reddit and Twitter. And then whenever Bones fights, just glued to Twitter. So because I was a freelancer, I would go in like some studios and do like site visits and stuff. And more than once, I've had someone stop in the hallway that I didn't know and say, "Oh, holy shit, you're him!" Like, I follow you on Twitter.
You're getting recognized from being misconstrued.
Mistaken.
This weekend it happened. Someone found me in person. I was at a beer festival in San Diego, and I tweeted. I did a little hashtag and everything, and took a selfie with my wife. And 5 minutes later, this guy showed up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Jon Jones, I saw you. Like, I follow you on Twitter for years, and I saw you. You're here. I was right across the street. Holy crap, dude!" He was really nice and polite. Sean, good guy. It didn't tell me what his Twitter handle was or anything. He just came up, said, "Hey, thanks for being a hate sponge for a dick," and then let me be. It's so weird. Like my qualification is not being someone.
Yeah.
Like demonstrably, easily, provably not.
So has life changed other than those occasional, or maybe more than occasional, occurrences where people recognize you, and do they ever like chat with you about your story or anything like that?
Oh yeah, my coworkers and my friends think that is the funniest thing. Like there's actually people warn me, my friends of mine that are like real MMA fans they'll find out something just hideous, like we broke the pregnant woman's arm in the hit and run and all that mess. People just like blowing up my Facebook wall saying, "Get ready, this is bad.
The storm's coming."
Seriously, like I said, I don't follow MMA; it follows me, and I refuse to educate myself on the sport.
It's better that way. It's better that way.
Yeah, don't bother.
Don't bother.
It's a waste of time.
Exactly. And literally, the entirety of my base of knowledge about the MMA, the UFC, and the fighters comes from people yelling at me, thinking I'm someone else. And that is the weirdest fucking way to learn anything. Imagine learning math that way by someone that hated you and is yelling wrong things.
Hey, Galileo.
It's just it's such a weird body of knowledge to have. Like I always say, like people are really nice to me, and they humor me, but I admit I am like the jet ski or the squirrel in a jet ski of MMA. Like I'm a mildly amusing novelty, okay, in small doses, that's used purely as filler for slow news cycles. And I'm okay with that.
We are glad that you're amusing us with your novelty. We appreciate it.
It's so fun. I mean, it helps me like bleed off stress. I mean, I love my job, but I mean, work can be stressful, and I never know when this is going to happen. So whenever it does, it's like I get to just be goofy, and people play along, and I love it.
You get to play a character, right?
Exactly, just a hapless fat idiot.
Do you have a favorite moment as Wrong Jon Jones?
Two things come to mind. The funniest insult, three things. The funniest insult that anyone ever gave me was saying, "Man, Jon Jones is such a bitch. Yeast infection-ish." That is an incredible insult. That's legendary. The second one that happened just last week was, so every time this happens to me, there's always at least one asshole that demands I give up my Twitter handle for free to a spoiled millionaire because he deserves it and has never asked for it.
Yeah,
which is stupid. Like I've had it for 10 years. It's my name.
Yeah,
it's my actual real name. I'm not there to like they're literally demanding that I give up something that I love for free to someone that doesn't want it or need it, just so they don't have to learn who to yell at.
Just so they don't have to take an extra 2 seconds to like hover their mouse over the person's name to see if it's actually who they want to be tweeting at.
Exactly. And this one particular guy last week, he told me that I'm abusing intellectual property by existing with my real name.
Oh.
And the third thing, which was screamingly funny, I get emails intended for him as well. Less frequently, but like I'll get like invites to gyms or to schools. Some like youth pastor guy wanted to invite me out fly fishing in the woods to talk about laying hands on children. It just did not come off well. But the best one I ever got was
Hookup websites.
Well, I get signed up for those as well. I have there's a British Jon Jones that signs up for all these hookup websites with my email address.
Jesus.
And I get all the notifications. And he keeps signing up for more and more of them. And I get all the notifications and the password reset requests. And so he thinks no one on earth will fuck him. So he just keeps getting to sadder and sadder sites, like from dating to hookups to like the granny swinger website to like gay hookup websites. I'm witnessing this man's descent into sexual inadequacy for email.
Has he stooped all the way to Plenty of Fish, though?
I have a list somewhere of every single site that that he signed up for. The best one was Flag Finder.
Jesus.
But the absolute best email I ever got though was this guy emailing me saying, "Hey, like my wife and I are big fans. Like my wife's a huge fan. Like she really likes you. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, she'd love to meet you, and you can stay with us." I mean, I'm holy crap. Am I on the receiving end of an attempted cuckolding fantasy?
You bet your ass you are.
Yep.
And I am dead serious. had I been single at the time, I would have shown up and just seen how far I could get. Just saying like, yeah, I look a lot different on TV and when I'm not in training.
Yeah.
The lights, they really give you a tan, right?
Yeah, a real good tan.
Exactly. It's like, you know how they fake those before and after pictures with like, take, like Xenoblocks, like Testosterone Blaster 4000, and you have, wait, isn't that his only sponsor now?
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, this guy wanted me to fuck his wife because he thought I was this awesome, huge professional fighter.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
It's such a weird way to learn about a person and about people.
Speaking of people, have you ever actually interacted with the fighter Jon Jones?
No. He's never acknowledged me except by blocking me over Christmas in 2014. I have no idea why.
What?
Oh my!
Wow,
that's terrible.
John, I'm going to get on the case, and I am going to find a way to rectify this.
I'm
going to bring
right.
you
it's
and Jon
right.
Jones together.
Well, his teammates some of his teammates have followed me on Twitter, and we actually like DM and chat and goof around. Like I've gotten to talk to, as I understand it, like fairly famous fighters, but I don't fucking know. But like the people that actually know him and train with him, I'll see them like liking my tweets or retweeting, and it's absolutely hysterical. One time when, oh my god, the gas station dick pills thing. When he was on Joe Rogan and he said the word gas station dick pills.
Oh,
so he flew back that day, and my buddy was on a flight with him and recognized him, and he took a selfie with him, and he asked him, "Hey, why did you block my friend?" And Bone said, "It's nothing personal, man." And he took a selfie with my friend, and that was it. That's the closest I've come to communicating with him. I'm still blocked. But it's bizarre. Like I made one attempt to contact him when we were both at a trade show when he was on the cover of the UFC game.
Yep.
And I knew people worked at the company. I thought, oh, hey, this would be kind of fun. We're literally in the same building. If he has time or something, that'd be fun. But never heard back, and I never made the attempt. People assume for some reason that I'm desperate to contact him. Or I'm trying to sell my handle or my website. I have JonJones.com also. They assume I'm just trying to hound him just to sell it to cash in, but I don't want that. They're mine. I just think it'd be funny to
so
do
much better.
Back to back. I know. I'll admit. He appears to be kind of a dick in the media and polarizing figure, and he just gets away with it. He always gets away with it. I just kind of like the idea that even if he wanted my handle or my domain,
this is the one thing you can't have.
That's right.
Exactly. I actually found out that I waited 11 years to buy JonJones.com, and when it finally went up for sale, I contacted the guy immediately. I had GoDaddy. You can they have a service that will watch a domain name to check when it goes on sale or when it expires. So I got that email and contacted the guy and bought the domain. And I asked him if he ever heard from MMA Jon Jones. He said, yeah, my his manager contacted me, but he didn't want to pay that much for the website, so he just those last I heard from him. It was $1,600.
I was gonna say that must be before he became champion or something.
No, this was in 2011 I think this is 2012. He had recently crashed. He had crashed a Bentley.
He was already the champ. So Jesus, that's pretty bad.
With two hookers in the back. We must add.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
There were two hookers in the back of that Bentley that he crashed.
How the hell did I not know that?
I have no idea.
I thought I would have gotten a lot more shit for that. Wow.
But I know you don't have an actual desire to watch MMA or learn about MMA, but I heard that you did actually watch the card, or at least the Jones fight this weekend, right?
Oh, I live tweeted all the main cards.
Yeah.
I actually somehow I correctly guessed the outcome of each fight just based on the names I thought sounded funny.
Jesus.
Start gambling. Because MMA is a joke of a sport.
It was, but yeah, whenever he fights, I'm I'm obligated. I want to see. I enjoy watching him fight. It's not like something I go out of my way to get like super into, but if it's on, and crucially, if there's beer, then I'll do it. But
yes,
well, yeah, and he doesn't fight that often because of all of his fuck ups. So it's not even that many times that you got to sit down and watch it.
Exactly. I'm not frequently obliged. But that
well,
is
and
fun.
you picked a pretty good fighter to be related to, right? So not actually related, but the greatest fighter of all time. If you're going to have somebody that you get mixed up for, probably a good choice.
Oh, totally. It could be much worse. I actually I went to UFC 135. I was in Denver visiting a buddy of mine, and he had an extra ticket. I'm like, fuck it, sure. So I partook of some of Colorado's famous offerings and went to the UFC 135. And I got to say, a stadium full of 20,000 people chanting my name was the moment my life peaked.
That's peak right there.
Yeah.
It was great. We had really nice seats too. My friend lied about being disabled, so we got like a nice row.
You gotta cheat to win. That's
like
the way it goes.
When my wife and I sign up for a hotel online, we always put doctor in the prefix area. So a lot of times you'll show up and they'll be like, "Oh, we can't have you in just any room. Like you get upgraded for free and all sorts of great. It's awesome. I recommend it to everyone."
Smart. Oh, I'm totally doing that. Dr. Jon Jones.
Well, you are an expert in some things. We hear you have a book that's currently out, available on Kindle, if I recall. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So this is drastic tonal shift. It's a memoir. It's actually my life story. I was raised by radical evangelical Christians and homeschooled in a pretty deeply abusive environment. And video games and computers were what ended up being my salvation. I always had access to a computer, and I made the most of it, learned how to make art for video games, and got good enough at that I was able to move out at 19, get away from all that, and start a career. Like I've been working professionally since I was 16, and I've been like a contract artist making money at it since I was 12. And the book is how step by step I got out of it and into a life that is wonderful and a great career, and how I got back to happy. It's called How I Escaped Evangelical Hell. It's not an easy read, but I would classify it as it's sad, but it's funny. Just like really dark humor, but I just released it on Kindle last week. They're hardcover. There's a hardcover and paperback version available as well, but the Kindle edition it's only $10, and I like digital media. So that's out. I'm proud of it.
We encourage everybody to pick up a copy of that, and I like that you've put something positive into the universe rather than your namesake.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And if I could plug one last thing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
For another drastic tonal shift. So I have a Tumblr where I save all my favorite mistweets that I've received over the years. They're
Wrong Jon Jones.
Yeah.
You're the owner of that.
Of
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We didn't know that you were the owner of that.
I was just telling Sean about that before the show.
And I update it. Not all that often, but most of the stuff from this past weekend is up there. But it goes back like 5 years. But after that Joe Rogan interview where he talked about taking gas station dick pills, and of course my timeline flooded with people asking how my dick works, I registered gasstationdickpills.com, and it redirects to that Tumblr.
Yes, gasstationdickpills.com.
So the Tumblr is wrongjohnjones.tumblr.com?
Yep.
Or gasstationdickpills.com. Or
gasstationdickpills.com. Incredible.
Just lemon into lemonades. It's amazing.
Like, living without dignity is surprisingly easy.
Well, Jon, we truly appreciate your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the listeners of the MMA Analysis before we let you go?
Yeah, follow at Daniel Cormier on Twitter. He is not the DC of MMA. He is a white geeky guy like me, who I've actually made friends with because we were tagged in together.
Of course.
And during the fights, he is also hilarious. So he's a wonderful guy. I recommend him very much.
That I was not aware of Daniel Cormier, so I will definitely do that.
Oh yeah, he's a gem. Yeah, we literally made friends just because we were tagged together in a tweet, and then we met in New York a few months ago in person and got to hang out.
What a world! What a world!
Bringing people together. I'm from Toronto. Sean's from Edmonton, so we're both Canadians, and all the rest of the people on our show are scattered across the U.S. And we've all met up because MMA and had no clue who each other were before this show. So it's
awesome.
For all the terrible things that this sport does, giving people long-term brain damage and all that wonderful stuff, at least it can bring people together, right?
Exactly. It's just, just the love of, punching all the blood out of someone's body.
Well, I think that's a good note for us to finish up here. John, we appreciate your time, and maybe if Jon Jones fights again in another year and a half or 2 years, we'll have you back on and see how you do against Brock Lesnar.
Oh my God, that fucking Minotaur!
You're gonna have the WWE and the MMA against you now. It's that's gonna be awesome for you.
Oh my God, I hadn't even thought of that.
If that fight happens, it is going to be a wild ride, sir.
It's just gonna be like watching a crash test.
Yes, everybody watches those.
They crash airplanes into Brock Lesnar to test their comfort zones.
Make sure the black boxes are up to code.
Exactly. Guys, thank you so much for having me on. This is a blast.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was at Jon Jones on Twitter. Not the fighter Jon Jones, the author, computer developer, gamer Jon Jones, who has unfortunately for himself been sucked into this awful, awful world of MMA that we all enjoy so much. And that was fun.
That was awesome. That could have just ruined somebody's life, but that guy has just rolled with it and just made it awesome.
Yeah, you can't fault him for that. That's as you said, take lemons, make some lemonade.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is going to be an abridged version of the MMA analysis because I've got to get my ass back to work, and the card this weekend sucks. So I'm picking Sergio Pettis in the main event, even though he's an underdog. Sean, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to pick that it's going to be a terrible fight, but hopefully Moreno subs him early.
And hopefully it gets past the, we'll say, third round.
Yeah.
Because then it's in Mexico City. Everyone's going to get all gassy. It's going to be a whole thing.
It's going to be ugly as hell.
And then if you didn't want to watch MMA after that, it's good because there's a month off of UFC, so you don't have to.
Take a breather.
Exactly. We will be back in September probably, or maybe the end of October. But yeah, this has been one of the more unique and entertaining MMA analysis of all time.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?